everybody, and welcome back to the Morinville Community Library. My name is Shelley, and I'm one of the programmers here at the Morinville Community Library. And this month, we are coming into Earth Month, and I thought it would be a great idea to upcycle some random supplies that I've had around the yard. And what that item is going to be a block of wood that I've had all cut up. So this was a 2x4, and I've had it cut into 6-inch lengths, and that's what we're going to be working with, and a whole bunch of other accessories that I happen to have in my craft room. So yeah, we're going to do some upcycling here. We're going to get creative, and I can't wait to see what we produce. So let's get started. Here's a sample of one of the bunnies that I've done already. This guy is a little bit taller. It was one of the longer scraps that was left over. So again, it's just a 2x4. This one I think is probably about 9 inches. And this is what we're going to work towards today. So in your bag, your little Easter bag, there should be a block of wood. There should be a long ribbon, a burlap ribbon. There should be a couple of ears, paintbrush, some black wire, a wired flower, a plain wooden heart, a couple of buttons, and a carrot. And then we've got some white paint here in the little pot. So for some extra supplies you're going to need the glue gun. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And what I decided to do for the nose, only if you want to paint it, is I just grabbed myself a couple of pink markers, and they work terrifically on the little wooden heart there. So grab that, and then if you want to do any other detailing, a black marker is a good idea to have. And it's a good idea always to have a cup of some water for the paintbrush and a wet paper towel, because I always tend to get it on me. That's just the way it is. And there's our piece of wood. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water to this paint here. It's pretty thick. You don't have to add water to it, but certainly the thicker the paint goes on, the longer it's going to take for it to dry. And the neat thing is, if you really water it down, you can get kind of a whitewashed look onto it rather than it being quite so solid. So I did do another one here before, and this one has got a couple of coats on it, and it took quite a while for it to dry. So I'm going to do this one with a little bit of a wetter paint, and let's see how this one turns out. So a couple other things that I did discover is I found it worked better doing the sides first, then the top. Then I could lay it down and do the main part of it. And it wasn't quite as messy. And yeah, it worked out pretty good. So you just want to go ahead, and you don't want to put your first coat on really thick. You just want to put enough on to cover it and just straighten out those lines. And remember, you just painted the other side, so you don't want to put it down there. And you can decide if you want to paint over some of that, the darker color there, some of the bark that's kind of still on. That's totally up to you if you want to have it completely covered. So again, right now I've just got a really light coat that's going on. I'm going to do the top. And you might have to, because it's a bit rougher, you might have to just kind of almost like sponge it into the grooves there a little bit. There, and now I'm going to lay it down and do a light painting over top. So that is the whitewash. See the difference between the two. So you can go ahead, once this is dried, go ahead and do a second coat onto it if you like, or you can certainly leave it like that. Something else that I've been seeing popular on YouTube is people will make it even a little bit more rustic, is they'll take some sandpaper and they'll take the paint off of the edges there a little bit. So it gives it kind of that older feel, that it's something that's kind of been around for a while. So I'm going to pull that one to the side and let it dry, because I do have this guy, and that's the guy I'm going to work on. So I'm going to get my paintbrush into the water, get myself cleaned up here a little bit. We're going to want to get our glue gun ready and start having our supplies around us ready to go. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to do the ears. Take a look at the guy that I've got here. So I kind of started from the top and worked my way down on this other guy. So for this one here, these ears are a little bit smaller than the other guy, but they're going to work. And so I broke these off of headbands for Easter, and they have a little bit of a plastic stabilizer inside of it. This one doesn't want to come out. So that's what's keeping this nice and straight. So there's a couple ways you can do this. I found with the other one that I did, I was able to have enough glue to put them right onto the very top here. And then I just kind of accessorized with some other stuff. But if you're having a real challenge trying to get them to stay standing, what you can do is you can just simply go to the very back of the wood and just put a significant amount of glue back there, and that's going to get those guys started. So for this one, I think I'm going to put a bunch of glue on the back because I want to be able to compare the two different looks. And it's nice to have the little bottom piece folded over there a little bit. Gives a little bit of shape further up into the ear. And you don't necessarily want them straight up and down. You want to angle them out a little bit from each other. That'll just give it a little bit more shape to it. Need a little more glue back here just to close things up. So those guys are going to stay put right there. So then the next thing that I did is I got my big bow here, and I tried to make it as simple as possible. So you've got your whole length. It doesn't matter which way it's facing. We're going to go ahead and just bring the two pieces where it's been cut. Going to bring them together. Then you're going to pull the front part forward to join those guys. And then you are simply just going to crunch it down. And center that as best you can. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of the wire that's on this flower. So you can kind of hold that flower there and get the wire going around the bow as tight as you can, because that's going to help keep the shape of the bow there with the ribbon. And we'll be able to fix this up a bit more here after. It looks like my bow's not so centered, or my flower's not so centered. In fact, he's coming off. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue because I don't want to unwrap my flower. All right, here for me very gently. I'm going to work on adding this on. I'm just going to put it up here and kind of audition where I want it to go. Looks pretty good there at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of glue just right in there. Next thing we're going to do is I've given you a little bit of some reindeer moss. What we're going to do is, for those that put the ears on the back, we've got some extra space here. So I thought it would be cute to just go ahead and put some of this greenery in there just as a filler. If you went ahead and put the ears on the very top there, then you might just have a smaller space to add some of that greenery, or you could even leave it off. Totally up to you. And if you happen to have like some little Easter eggs or something hanging around, you could probably pop some of those accessories up top there as well. Alrighty, while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and grab our wooden heart. Again, what I chose to do is I just grabbed some markers that I had around the house and found the closest pink that I felt would be good to work with, and just went ahead and gave it some color. That is going to be that guy. So we got the nose ready to go. Grab the eyes. I'm going to do a little bit of some painting on the eyes and our wire. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go from the top to the bottom. So we're going to grab the burlap with the lace on it and go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the front here. Again, be careful, it's really hot. And you can totally decide what you want to do with your carrot. You could even put your carrot maybe up top here, or I'm going to stick mine back down here. And I just really like the spot that I had picked before, so I'm going to go ahead, a little bit of glue, pop that guy on there. Just really like the way that it sat on there. Let that dry. It's another piece done. All right, let's grab our wire. So what I've done with the wire is I've folded it in half. And you need to take some scissors. It's not very thick, so it's very easy to go ahead and just cut that up. And then I'm gonna get my paintbrush out of my water dish here. We're gonna create the whiskers. So the way I did the whiskers is I crossed the wire a little bit on the top of the paintbrush. Just let it wrap around there. And then I worked my way down the paintbrush, giving a little bit of space in between them. You can see how that's working there. Just keep angling it down so you can see how much space I have between them. And you're just going to pull that off. You got a neat little spring, and we're going to do the same thing with the other one. All right, so at an angle, we're going to start wrapping this wire onto your paintbrush. A little bit of spacing in between them. You don't want too much space, and you don't want it too tight as well. There you go. You can see how much I've got there. There is our second one. So what I found easiest is I laid my guy down, and I kind of guessed where the middle was, and I flattened it and shaped it a bit up into a U type of idea. So the idea is to have it flat on the wood here so that we're going to be able to put some glue on that and have that stay. I might put a little bit down there right now, actually. Just to hold it there for a minute. And I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to find the middle and flatten it out as well so that it'll be able to adhere to the glue, and shape it in the other direction. And then we're going to take our nose. We're going to put some glue on the back of that. And we are going to press that right into the middle. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's grab our buttons. Something really cute I saw is someone had put like a pupil, a white pupil. So grab our paint back out here again, and I'm gonna try it with the tip of my black marker. And you just want to pick a corner, the same corner on both eyes. Put a little bit of paint onto here for the end. And you just want to dot it on the top of your eyeball. Just like that. Super easy, nothing to it. And then we are going to grab these and some glue right there. One eyeball there. And a trick, if you haven't seen this or watched me doing this already today, put a little bit of glue onto that guy, put it in, and it'll adhere to what's inside there, so you shouldn't have to push it with your hand. There we go. Take the next eyeball and have it going the same direction. There you go. That is our bunny. I'm really excited to see what ones you guys come out with. You can certainly add any other little accessories to it. Like I said, maybe some Easter eggs up top here or something different on the bottom. And you can send those pictures to info@morinvillelibrary.ca, and you can put it to attention to Shelley and Easter blocks. I would love to see your Easter bunny block. Looking forward to seeing everybody on our next one. That's going to be in June. And then, of course, we have our Spice It Up program that runs the odd months in between our crafting. And let me know if you enjoy it. So have a great week. Have a great Easter when we get closer to that. Bye.